Okay, video 2 of our table tennis game, the classic table tennis game that you may have seen, the Pong game, which probably appeared back in the early 80s or maybe the 70s even, was where this game first came about. Now, what we need to do today is a couple of things. We've got pretty much our layout sorted out. There is maybe the scoreboard that we need to have for our player A and player A and player B and things like that. So we'll start off by doing that. So under where we've got our ball, we will do just another couple of settings, and this will be for a pen. Um, so what we can do is we can use a pen to write on the screen, essentially. So we'll create a variable called pen, and that is turtle again, just like you've seen up here before. And the same thing that we will do for the speed, we'll say pen dot speed will be 0, and then the pen dot shape. Now the shape, we can probably just keep it as a square as well, because what we'll do, we'll just get it to draw out a line. So the shape will be square. And then the next thing that we want to do is the color, of course. So we'll do pen dot color, spelled the American way. And the color, if you want, you can do the same as before, where you put in a hexadecimal color code. So I put it in white. So you can change it to a different color if you wish. And then I'm going to do pen dot pen up, right? So it's all pretty much the same as you've seen before. And then one of the things that I probably need to do at this point, because this will be the last thing I'm going to be basically drawing on the screen. So we will do pen dot hide turtle. Right, so this is where you just basically don't see the turtle being written. And then what we want to do is write it. So we need to say for it to go to a specific position to put that on the screen. So you can see where we've got our ball, that we put it at 0, 0. So 0, 0 is exactly the center. So if you want it to be, this is the X going horizontally across the way and Y that way. So if you go up in the Y, if you want it to be up here, then you're probably looking at about sort of, I don't know, what have we got height-wise? Height-wise is 600. So if you said about 350, something like that. Yeah, so 600 in height. No, not 350, 250, let's say. So if we did 250. Okay, so we'll hide the turtle, and then we will say pen dot go to, and it is X. Well, I'm going to give it in the center, and then I said 250, right? So 250, but you can choose to put it at a different position if you want. If you want it to be at the bottom, then that's fine, do it at the bottom. And then what we can do is we can use a special method here that is write, and we get it to basically write what we want it to say. So you would say that we would want it to say something like player A or player 1. I'm going to do player A. Has 0 points, and then I'm going to leave a space, a couple of spaces maybe, 0. Maybe if you have like a bar, you could possibly do this. So I've got like a bar I can put in my, like this vertical line like that. So I'm going to put that in there, and then just put player B has also got 0 points, and then close this course. That's a string. Now, after that, we've got some other things that we can add into this method that we're using here, and we can do the alignment and the font and things like that. So I'm going to say align. The align equals for it to be in the center. Center spelled the American way again. And then I'm going to do font. And this is the same, the font is exactly the same as where you've done it before, where you would actually just specify in a set of brackets, like a tuple, right? So the parenthesis brackets. So if I did, I think Verdana, I can use that. You could do Courier New, You could do Comic Sans. You could probably do quite a few of them. And I'm going to put this at, let's say, 28. Okay, so just test that. Okay, so I get one error. It's coming up. Turtle, not defined, right? So turtle, left out the T there. Right, and no problem. Right, there we go. So it says, comes up like this. So I've got a bar in the middle of that. Right, so that's good. That works fine. Let's close that. And now we've finished the pen that does that writing. What we're going to do next is actually get some keyboard input here. So we're going to create um, some keyboard movements. We'll say keyboard inputs, input procedures. Okay, so these are going to be procedures that will allow us to do some movement. So we're going to do paddle L and paddle R. Right, so I'm going to say def. Now this will be paddle L. I'm going to use an underscore, I suppose, for this, and then just do up. So we'll do up, down, left, and right for, or sorry, not up, down for both of them. So paddle L up. I'm just going to write pass for the moment, and then what I'm going to do is copy this 4 times, right, and then just change a little bit of what it says. So I'm going to do it twice first of all, and then just do this one, paddle L down, and then what we'll do, we'll write the code for this, and then just copy it and change it to paddle B or paddle R or whatever you've called it. Okay, so paddle L up. What we need to do is get the Y position. So we're going to set a variable called Y, and we will get the Y coordinates of paddle L, right? So the Y coordinates is up and down coordinates. So we're going to say paddle L dot Y coordinate. So it's done like that, and that's the special one that will get this for us, right? So what we can do is then just take that Y coordinate wherever it happens to be at the minute and then add to it. Okay, so if we do then Y, and to add to it or increment it, so whatever it is at the minute, so say Y is 0, right, which is what it's going to be, then we would just add whatever we want. So we do this increment, which is the plus minus. So this is Y is equal to Y plus whatever, right? So that's how you do it. So Y is equal to Y plus, and like say I did 20, for example. That's what this is doing here, but I can just do it in shorthand like that. So I'm going to do 20 for the moment, just see if that looks good. And then I will do, I have to set the Y coordinate for that. So I'll then say paddle. So how did we do paddle up here, where we have we got the position like this, you see? So we did paddle L go to, but we can do, instead of that, we can just set the Y position of it and not bother with talking about the X position. So paddle L dot set Y, and set it to what Y is now going to be, right? So Y, right? So we're getting the current position. This gets current position, so I'll just comment this. Gets current Y position. Adds to Y position, and this sets new Y position. Okay, so that's what it does. Now, of course, what we need to do then is just do exactly the same for going down. So going up and going down is exactly the same. So I'm just going to copy that and put it here. And instead of plus minus, we will subtract. Okay, so I'm putting subtract there. So instead of plus minus, I do minus equals. Okay, and that will do by 20. Right, now if you run that, of course, this is not going to do anything yet. So like if you see, I've got nothing that's running paddle up, right? So I haven't even said what keys are going to be used for that, right? So here what we'll do is underneath, we'll just to try this before we do paddle R. So we've got paddle up, paddle L up, paddle L down, and then we'll have to do paddle paddle R up and down as well. So we got this special method for bindings, and we need to bind some keys, we call this. So keyboard bindings. That's a comment. So we've got keyboard bindings, and in the keyboard bindings, what we need to do is we need to listen first. So we use this one to say listen out for any keyboards, keyboard keys being pressed, and then we will then say when. So this is, of course, when, which is this when, and then we'll say when dot on key press, and if it is, we'll then use this paddle up. Now we're not going to use the brackets on the end, so you just use this part, paddle L up, and then you then set the key that you want it to be. So you can do any keys on the keyboard, of course. So maybe I will do something like W and S, or Q and A, or WS. Those WS, A, D, and Z, and or X are usually ones that are being typically used for PC games and so on, and then your arrow keys. But if you're doing it left and right, so this is going to be the left paddle. So I'm going to do W. So that's just a lowercase w. Of course, if caps lock is on, that's probably not going to work. But we're not worried too much about that. So that's doing the up, and then I'm just going to copy that line, and then change this to say down. And on the down, what I will do is do S for that. Okay, so we could probably try it out, see if that works straight away. Okay, there we go. So now I've got movement with that paddle up and down. So just to go over what's actually happening there, if I hold down the W key, it doesn't seem to hold down. If I hold down the S key, I don't know, sometimes it's a bit tricky. So on my computer it's like that, but it's you have to sort of be clicking these up, and you have to be pressing it. It goes off screen as well. Now, if 20, it depends on your computer. If 20 is not good enough, I'm going to change mine to 40 to just have a look and see what, oops, just to check. So 40, I think, is probably going to be a little bit faster for mine. There you go. So that's a little bit faster and a bit more fluid. So you can change those numbers just to check it. So that's how it works. So basically paddle L, this is the procedure here which has been run, paddle up. So if the W is pressed, on key press, if W has been pressed, then run this procedure, that's what it's doing. And if S has been pressed, run that procedure. Okay, so you can imagine how to do the paddle R. So what I would like you to do is finish that part of the exercise and do the paddle R by yourself. So you need to create 2 more procedures like this one and make it for paddle R up and down, and then 2 more key bindings as well.